Let's start the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Triangle Defense Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Ortega.
And I'm your host, Jonathan King.
And we are back to the regular scheduled programming. We're getting back on schedule. We're getting better at this.
We're gonna hit it at one point.
Oh yeah, for
Sunday,
sure.
Wednesday.
For sure. But
I think did we do it this week? Did we come out
we did
Sunday?
it last week too. Yeah.
If we upload on Wednesday, then it'll be we'll do it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be fine. But we are back with another episode, and we have a packed episode right here. There has been a ton going on with the NBA and with college basketball. So we're going to get right into the part of the show where we talk college basketball. It's time for College Corner. Yep.
It's time for College Corner. All right. Some big storylines. So about an hour ago, Maryland just lost to George Mason. 19th ranked Maryland losing to Patriot League team. Don't have a whole lot to say about that, but it is part of a bigger problem, which is that the Big Ten is always overrated, and that this year is no exception.
And that's going to go into the Gavitt games that have been going on so far this week too. So that for some that might not know, it is the challenge that they do every year between the Big East and the Big Ten, and it's looking like the Big Ten is already in tournament mode.
Yeah.
To where I saw a lot of people talking on Twitter. I saw one specifically saying that the Big Ten might go 7-1 against the Big East.
Womp womp.
Yeah, they thought the only team that was going to beat a Big Ten team was Creighton. But the Big East, without our two best teams, those being Villanova and UConn, the two that are ranked in the top 20. I mean, Nova's, I believe, ranked fifth, and
yeah, I think they dropped a 5.
And UConn might be 23.
I think they're 24 or 22 in that range near St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, something like that. And
Purdue also not in it. They're I think 7th or 6th. They were left out of the Gavitt games. The Big Ten definitely could have used them.
Exactly, but I mean they still had two top 10 teams in the this week's games, and they both lost. Illinois had a really, really bad just complete collapse.
Andre Curbelo looked horrible. Illinois fans have been hyping him up all off season and most of last season, saying how they don't, it's obviously Io hurts, but I heard some Illinois fans on Twitter at least saying that if Curbelo steps up, they could be a better team than they were last year because Kofi is bigger and they bring back some guys and bring in some freshmen. But Adam Miller left, Io left, and Andre Curbelo so far hasn't. And it's been a few games, of course, but he looked aggressively awful. When he wasn't turning the ball over, he was airballing shots and breaking shots and taking contested mid-rangers, thinking he was Kobe, looking like Jason Tatum out there.
Yeah, no, bro, that was a very big part of their collapse, and it wasn't even that Marquette was playing great. I mean, the score was like 65-67 or something. It was a pretty low scoring game.
Illinois didn't score for the past 4 or 5 minutes. They were stuck at 66, just kind of jammed in there, and it was bad. As well as Michigan sort of looked out of sorts because Seton Hall went into their building and kicked their ass.
I called
Jared Roden.
I called it on the show last week. I said, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised when that game is closer than people thought. And I didn't feel bold enough to just give Seton Hall the win or like that. But, I mean, I had a good feeling. Like I said, I thought they were a good it was a styles clash. Michigan's kind of known for, having shooters, and their coach is a big, Juwan Howard's a good X's and O's guy. And like I said, Seton Hall's is going to beat you up. It's where they play a very old school Big East style.
I think I called it because I said Kevin Willard's bald head would throw off Michigan 3-point shooters and cause them to shoot worse because it's too shiny that it should be banned. I mean, I'm not saying that I called it. I didn't call it. I called it a Michigan win and they barely lost, whatever. But but so I think I was onto something there.
Right, but the Big East was 4-0 in the first 2 nights in the Gavitt games. The Big Ten just did pick up their first win. Michigan State.
expected.
Yeah.
I think no one. I don't think any single person called Butler beating Michigan State.
No.
Butler's just not a very good team, and Michigan State is. I think they're a pretty solid team this year. I think they will make March Madness.
That was the one I did feel confident about, saying that Michigan State was going to beat them, and they beat them handily. So I felt all right about that. And St. John's is trailing Indiana currently, but I don't think it's that far off right now to where, I did have St. John's winning that one.
I think I had Indiana. Or maybe I had St. John. I don't know. Indiana's got the best player in that game, and they're home. But
definitely.
That game could go either way. I'm excited to see what Mike Woodson can do. He's the kind of coach that can turn a program around, I feel like. Mm-hmm. You've seen it a lot before. He has better odds than Tom Crean or Archie Miller at Indiana, I think. But can he recruit? I guess he recruited Trace Jackson Davis to come back to Indiana. He could have been a lottery pick. So
right. So he's definitely going to have some kind of pull there. Doing that.
Who do you think would win between UConn and Purdue? If they played, because Nova probably beats any Big Ten team. Michigan on a good night could beat Nova, but they probably beat any Big Ten team. But UConn 100%. And Purdue.
UConn and Purdue. Where are they playing? Are they playing at Purdue or are they playing at UConn? Because I don't know if I was watching UConn's game. I forgot who they were because they're not playing in the Gavitt games. They're playing some.
Yeah, they're playing some shit bag.
But that place was rocking. Like that place was.
I think both stadiums. Playing in Mackey, West Lafayette. That's like top 5, at very least, places to play. That's where Big Ten teams go to die. Mm-hmm. Like Purdue is so good at home. If they play in Mackey, I think Purdue beats them by like double digits. But if they play in, I think Purdue might still be. I think Purdue's an incredible team just because they have those two big men that they have, Edey and Rivion Williams.
It's a shame that we couldn't see those teams in the. Because I actually don't know why that didn't happen because.
Well, they put fucking DePaul in there when they suck ass, and they don't have Nova or UConn. And they don't have Purdue, and they didn't have Maryland, but I guess Maryland being left out was all right since they just got their ass kicked by George Mason.
We should have got Maryland in this game, honestly.
So, anyways, some other news around college, some realignment in the conferences. You've seen college football, some realignment as Belmont comes into the MVC, which I think is great because Belmont consistently makes the tournament. And it makes the MVC better. Mm-hmm. Loyola bailed on the MVC. One of the only 2 bids from last season, them and Drake, they bailed to the A10. They are not at the Atlantic Ocean, but they are.
Wait. Drake is heading to the A10 too?
No. Loyola is.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Drake.
Drake is one of the only 2 teams that got a bid last year. Loyola and Drake. Loyola is headed to the A10. Well, they'll face teams like, St. Joe's and,
I have it pulled up right here. So kind of what we can expect out of that. So I'm not sure what went into that thought process because Loyola has been a team that has consistently been good in the, Missouri Valley Conference for whatever that's worth. And there was a lot of talks over these last few years of them potentially becoming kind of like the Gonzaga of the Missouri Valley Conference to where, that's the team you always know is going to come out of the conference.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant on a national scale.
No.
Get the fuck out of here.
No. To where Gonzaga in whatever fucking conference they're in, the
West
Big
Coast
West Coast or something. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, don't go dissing the Big West, man.
It's them. And maybe what's their names? St. Mary's will give them a fight or something.
BYU's good. They're in the West Coast Conference. They beat the fuck out of. That's what happened yesterday. They beat the fuck out of Oregon.
Oh,
did you see that game?
Yeah.
Oregon's firmly ranked, and they beat them by I think 30. Yesterday.
But still, like the main point is that they were trying to become. To where it's Loyola and everybody else in the conference, to where Gonzaga is the team that's always going to come out of that conference, and it looked like they were kind of trying to build towards that. They got some pretty good transfers in, and they've been recruiting pretty well over the last few years too.
And then what happened?
They dipped out, and they're heading to.
I was going to say Krutwig left, who's their only good player in their school's history in the past 50 years, and then their coach left. So
yeah, true. Yeah, that was a little part of the not necessarily collapse because they'll still be a good team.
What success has Loyola had the past 10 years without Cam Krutwig or Porter Moser, or without Cam Krutwig?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think he's playing in like Poland or something now.
Belgium.
Yeah, you're right.
Belgium. Yeah. Can I go on a BYU related rant before we close out College Corner?
But before we do that, I want to talk about the Atlantic 10 and what to expect out of Loyola in there. I think we can get some pretty fun rivalries and games going on out of this because the Atlantic 10. I mean, you'd say it's a better conference than the Missouri Valley
without a doubt.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Without a doubt. They're usually, I don't want to say multi-bid, but no, sometimes they are.
Usually,
Rhode Island has historically been really good in the like getting into the tournament. St. Bonaventure is ranked.
Exactly. There's teams that actually do get, are in and out of the tournament yearly.
Richmond,
Dayton.
St. Louis is a historically tough arena to play in. Away, they're trash, but
St. Louis, St. Bonaventure, VCU is a solid team as well too that people forget about. Duquesne was good, I believe, like 2 years ago.
Duquesne,
whatever. Dayton.
It is spelled weird.
Dayton. UMass can kind of be a gritty team sometimes as well too.
I've never seen them play. I don't think ever in my whole life.
Rhode Island.
Yeah,
I think
they beat Trae Young in a tournament a few years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this is just I think we can get some pretty cool rivalries here. I mean, like a Loyola St. Louis.
I could see Dayton. Oh yeah, St. Louis would be a good one. I could see Dayton going toe to toe with. Dayton's usually up. They're usually competent. They're not just like trash. Like I just looked up A10 teams. George Mason's in there. Outside of that one Final Four run, they haven't really done anything. Fordham is in the A10, which kind of surprised me because they're ass. They don't do shit. I think they're in the Bronx. Yeah, and then VCU is good, but there was some paranoia inside the A10 that this meant that they were going to lose teams, but it's been reported that they will not lose any teams here. A lot of people speculated Fordham would leave to go to, I think, Patriot League, or George Mason would leave to go to the Patriot League.
Interesting.
The Conference, whatever the fuck it's called. But
I've heard some speculation about the Big East wanting to expand to an even 12 teams.
Yeah,
and there was a little talk of Dayton leaving.
There was Dayton talk. St. Louis has been a candidate for that, but the most popular candidate by far for the Big East 12th team is Gonzaga. I don't know if you've heard that, but there's been a lot of talk that Gonzaga would be welcome to Big East just because they are only a basketball school, and Big East pretty much has no football game whatsoever. They have a few teams with a few colleges with football in them, but
I think like Butler has a football team.
Villanova does, UConn does. I think a few of them left over from that old Big East with Syracuse, West Virginia, Louisville, all those.
I was just about to say the only team I would really, really want to see come into the Big East would be Syracuse. But
I mean,
that's not going to happen.
No, and if we're talking realistic or unrealistically, which that is at this point, then I'd want to see Syracuse, West Virginia, Louisville, and we got UConn back. So
was Pitt? Yeah, Pitt was in the Big East.
Pitt just seems like a Big East school. They're gritty,
right?
They're tough. They're inner city.
Exactly. It feels like a Big East city.
They just have a good football or decent football team, so they're out. So that's why Gonzaga would fit, but they're not very Big East. But
yeah, I mean, I'd even bring Dayton in. I think Dayton would.
Yeah, I thought about it, but the prevailing sentiment around Big East circles is that they are content with 11 teams for now. Good round robin number.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not expecting anyone to come into the Big East anytime soon, and if it is going to be someone, it's going to be someone better than Dayton, I think.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That's enough for realignment in college basketball. That's been the College Corner.
Yeah,
I'll go
for sure.
BYU related rant later because it is the doozy. But if we bring up BYU again, remind me. I'll go on it.
Got it.
We got to move on.
Yeah,
College
for
game.
sure.
Yeah.
But moving on to the part of the show, this is 3-pointers. This is where we both bring 3 things that have happened in the NBA throughout the week, and we discuss them. So, John, you want to kick us off here?
Yeah, why not? I think we've mentioned it, but we've never fully addressed it because I've always said wait a few games, but it's been 14 games, and your Washington Wizards are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, one of the best records in the league, the 3rd best record in the league. What the hell? I still haven't caught a Wizards game though.
So
I watch them every night. I see Spencer Dinwiddie's stat lines. I hear about Denny Avdija's defense, and
yeah, he's been great on defense.
I don't know what the fuck they're doing to win games.
So I met my first Wizards fan yesterday.
I thought you were gonna say you met like Rui Hachimura or something.
No, I met my first Wizards fan yesterday. My company had
Oh,
my company had our holiday party yesterday.
Where was
and
it?
I was it was on 36th Street. It was at a place called Parkside. And it was
like a bar? Like what was the vibe?
No, it was like a kind of like a ballroom type place. You know, it was like one of the fanciest meals I've ever had in my life. And
what did you have?
It was this like it's really, really
steak?
good short rib. It was short rib with some whipped sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts. And
I haven't cooked a meal in like 3 weeks, so that sounds really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like one of the fanciest meals I've ever had. But a guy that I work with, he is from Raleigh, North Carolina, and we were talking because we ended up at a bar after that, and the Sixers and the Jazz were playing, and we were watching that, and he was like, who's your team? And I told him I'm rocking with the Bulls, and he told me he's a Wizards fan, and I had to ask his opinion. I was like, what do you think about them being, the best team in the league right now?
Yeah.
He's from Raleigh, so he said he's a huge John Wall guy because John Wall came out of Raleigh, and we talked.
He came out of Raleigh and didn't go to like UNC or Duke, or even like Wake Forest.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That's weird. I didn't know he was from North Carolina. He chose Kentucky over like 4 good in-state basketball schools.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, no, he's from Raleigh. So we were just talking about watching John Wall's hoop mixtape when we were in like middle school and stuff. But so I had to ask him. I was like, hey, like, what are your thoughts on this Wizards team? Like, what do you think about it? He doesn't believe it's sustainable.
I don't either. I'm right there with him.
But honestly, I don't know. I haven't had many reasons to not believe it because, like I mentioned on an episode way back before, I mean, when this started, we all kind of no, it was when they were like 3-0 and whatever, and everyone was kind of joking about the Wizards being good. But now we're 14 games in, and they're actually good. So I think it's really just coming down to Bradley Beal just finding his guys.
I think it's them not having Scott Brooks as a coach. Scott Brooks in every circle, pretty much every reporter, every insider, every podcast that I listen to would compliment how nice of a guy Scott Brooks was and say he was a terrible coach and couldn't do anything and didn't know what X's and O's were.
No, he doesn't. There was no offensive scheme at all last year, with when he had Russ, and I was just watching, and it was just kind of Russ handling the ball. Bradley
Even
Beal
when he had Russ, Harden, and KD and Serge Ibaka in Oklahoma City, he didn't really have a game plan. He just gave the ball up to one of those 4 guys and just tell them to just go nuts.
Yeah, no, for sure. But the Wizards. I don't know. I don't have much of a reason because if we're looking at it from a basketball standpoint, and how they have been playing this year, the only reason we would have to think it's not sustainable is because they're the Wizards.
Is that not a valid reason?
I guess
that's a very good reason.
But they've been healthy. I mean, Beal missed. I think he didn't play in the last game or whatever. But everybody else, he's always kind of like that. And Dinwiddie didn't play for a little bit at the beginning of the season, but he's came in and he's been really good. So I mean, that starting lineup of Dinwiddie, Bradley Beal, Denny, Kyle Kuzma, and Daniel Gafford has been really solid, and even a lot of the bench
Harrell off the bench,
Trez off the bench, Al Neto,
KCP.
KCP, yep, I almost forgot about it. Davis Bertans has been a little underwhelming, and I'm starting to think that for the amount of money he's being paid and for how long the contract is, they should probably experiment moving that.
Yeah, I mean he's just there to shoot, and when his shot's not on, like he does nothing.
He does nothing, exactly.
He spaces the floor, but that's spacing the floor can only do so much if you can't even hit your shots. So.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But
yeah,
no, like I mean,
do you
like
think
I said,
it was a coincidence that Russell Westbrook left the team and they immediately get way better?
I mean, when you trade one player for three solid players and then get a competent coach, I don't think. I think if
and
they would
Spencer
have,
Dinwiddie, he was not healthy last year,
getting Spencer
so.
Dinwiddie in free agency too. So I don't think that's a. I know people are going to try to paint that as like, oh, look what happens when Russ leaves. They got a way better coach. They had one of the worst coaches in the NBA and no depth on the team. And now they have a competent coach, and they're pretty deep. You're having really good guys like KCP and Montrezl Harrell off the bench. Deni Avdija is looking like one of the best young defensive wings in the league right now. And like I said, the only reason we would have to think it's not sustainable is because they're the Wizards, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too convinced on the talent. I know they're deeper than they were last year, and they have some of those Laker guys who turns out they're good without LeBron. Go figure. Right. Kyle Kuzma getting into that Twitter war with the city of Cleveland.
Yeah.
The other day,
I mean, he wasn't wrong.
Yeah, some fan. I think it was either a sign or a tweet or both, or it was a tweet.
Yeah.
But there was a sign initially that said, hey, Kyle Kuzma, like you only have a ring because of LeBron. And Kyle Kuzma quote tweeted it and said, yeah, me and the city of Cleveland have something in common, which is totally true. I mean, I don't know how you literally have a curse in your city where you can't win a title for like half a century. And then LeBron busts his ass and has to come back down from 3-1 to get you your title, and then you go calling out Kyle Kuzma about LeBron is like giving you rings.
That's the what is that old saying about like throwing rocks or throwing bricks or something?
Glass houses.
You live in a glass house. Yes, that's the prime example of that.
I don't think anyone in Cleveland can afford to live in a glass house either. So
I've been to Cleveland. And you
might be right.
Sorry. And you might be right. Hey, I had a good time. It was St. Patrick's weekend.
Oh, so yeah, you had a good time because you were blasted and couldn't understand how shitty of a city Cleveland is.
Just makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Moving on from the Wizards, I want to talk about the Warriors and Nets game from last night, and in particular, the Warriors locked up KD, and he had probably his worst performance this season. They held him.
Dropped an episode about how unstoppable KD was and how he was torching the league.
They held him to 19 points and shooting 31% from the field. The obvious thing that they did going into this game was putting Draymond on him as the primary defender, but there were a lot of possessions where either Otto Porter Jr. or Iguodala picked him up. Iguodala stripped him a few times as well too, and even like Gary Payton was playing really good help defense on him. I mean, which he is a good defender.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was definitely stepping up on the assignment, and this makes me wonder if the Warriors either just got lucky and got KD on a bad night, because a lot of the shots he was taking were ones that he usually, would make. I mean, it's not like he was taking bad shots. They just weren't going in. I mean, Draymond was contesting a lot of them really well, but I mean, a lot of people contest shots very well on KD, and he still makes them.
He really can't be contested. He shoots over people. He shoots over 7-footers. So
exactly. So it makes me wonder if the Warriors kind of have the recipe, to stop KD, throwing these guys at him, or I mean, they just got lucky and caught him on an off night.
Well, if anyone has the recipe to stop KD, it probably would be the Warriors. They did a great job of defending him, making him shoot like shit in the 2016 Western Conference Finals when the Thunder were up 3-1, and then he joined the team. So every day in practice, Iguodala, Draymond Green, and all the bench guys that they had when he was there were defending him the whole time. And I know Draymond was chomping at the bit to defend KD this time around and make him lock him down. And it boosted Draymond to number one in the Defensive Player of the Year consensus ladder for a couple of websites that I saw, up there with Miles Turner and I don't know, someone else, maybe Giannis or something. He's always up there.
I think he definitely deserves it because he was moving a lot. I mean, he showed that he can still move. You know, like very much like showed he can still move. A lot of people think he is not necessarily fallen off on defense, but I mean he's not the defender he was in like I believe it was 2017 was when he won his Defensive Player of the Year. But I think so. But I mean, yeah, people think that he might have lost like a big step, but I mean he was looking great out there with KD, and I don't know if it's a case of, you know, just knowing the man very well, which I'm sure he does, or if they just got lucky. But if this is the way that they're going to, you know, if this is the strategy they're going to go towards for defending the elite wings in the Western Conference, I mean, they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs to where this can work against LeBron James and this can work against Paul George and any other, like I said, elite wings in the Western Conference.
I think the Lakers match up really well with the Warriors if they're both healthy. Because if you focus on shutting down LeBron, then it opens up the lane for Anthony Davis, who the Warriors right now have Draymond to put on him, but you know he can only guard so many people. And when that pick and roll comes, I hope they're ready. They did a pretty good job game one of that, but who knows how healthy LeBron was or is right now. It's been kind of a weird topic, but we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that for our main topic. And what do you got for me for your second topic?
Yeah, speaking of wing scorers, I guess, DeMar DeRozan is an MVP candidate and probably the best player in the Bulls right now.
I think he is.
He doesn't have the scoring versatility that Zach LaVine does, but he's scoring more efficiently. He's scoring more than him, points per game. And he's taking the big shots at the end of the games. I mean, he's just been nuts. He's averaging 27 points a game, 51% from the field, 37% from three. He takes a couple of threes a game. He's not a huge shooter, but he makes them when he takes them usually.
37%. That's good for a guy who.
That's great.
I mean, one of the main knocks on his game over the last, you know, however many years has just been his inability to shoot the three. But 37% on, you know, a few takes a game is actually pretty solid.
It's by far his best for his career, which leads me to believe that it'll go down a little bit. But on the Spurs, he never shot above 26% from three.
Yeah,
and he didn't. There were games in the Spurs. There was like, you know, there were seasons where he'd take like a three or two threes. Yeah. He just doesn't like shooting a three. It's just not in his shot selection really. But with the Bulls, he pulls up every now and then. He gets to it. And a lot of people calling DeMar DeRozan third. If the season ended today, he would be third in MVP voting behind, you'd assume, Steph and KD.
And I mean, I would definitely say so. And the thing, because I mean, I've watched a lot of Bulls basketball this season too. His impact goes so much further than just the scoring part of it, and that's why he isn't. Because I mean, there's a lot of good scorers in the NBA right now, but just his impact that he's had, he's become a way better passer. And thank you, Greg Popovich and the Spurs.
I think he always was a pretty underrated passer with the Spurs. But but he's an underrated playmaker for sure.
Yeah,
Shout out John Hollinger for calling him the 82nd best player in the NBA in the offseason. And shout out to Bleacher Report for saying that DeMar DeRozan signing by the Bulls was the worst signing of the offseason. You guys are great. I'm sure it helped.
Every big media outlet, that was kind of the consensus thought on that. But going back to his impact then too, I mean, he's a very underrated playmaker. He's actually been fine on defense this year too, because that was one of the main
people said his defense was horrible and the Bulls would be giving up 140 a game, and it's not like he's a world beater or anything. I don't like his effort defensively. I think he doesn't dive. There's a lot of loose balls that he could, if Caruso was on defense, he would be diving for it and he would recover. But you know, when you're carrying the load on offense, you can kind of get away with that every now and then, and he's okay defensively. He's got good size to him.
Yeah.
And the Bulls have also asked a lot from him because their offense is, or their front court has been pretty banged up as well. So
Right. And then I want to just talk about how he's not going to win the MVP. I think it's cool that he's a candidate. I mean,
yeah,
unless like Steph and Katie and
die.
Jokic all go down or
Unless there's like a
something.
plane crash that takes down like 22 planes and 22 team planes out of
Yeah.
like 30, the 8 that don't have an MVP candidate. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I can definitely see him, finishing third in that race and getting maybe a few first place votes or something. But he's not going to win it just based on the idea of there's a lot of players that have done what he's doing currently, elevating a team like that and doing a whole ton. But DeMar DeRozan isn't considered one of the, top 10 best players in the league. He's just not.
No,
And
not
even
not
after,
top
and even
20
after,
right now. I'd say if you all things like he's playing like a top 5 player, but like in a vacuum, he's not top 20. He's barely top. I mean, I'm just kind of guessing here, but he's
he's like
like
top
barely
25. I
top
think
30,
top
top
25, top
25
30.
around there. Yeah, I
With
mean,
the
I don't
way,
know.
yeah, like you said, in a vacuum, I mean, he's playing like a top 3, top 5 guy, but in a vacuum, yeah, I mean, he's probably closer to like top 25, top 30.
Yeah,
But and that's the reason he won't win the award because voters, like I said, they don't because there's a ton of guys that could have won it over the last few years.
and if you asked me to build a team between him or LaVine, I would take LaVine pretty much every
Yeah,
time, just because LaVine is more athletic, a slightly better defender, and he has the 3-point range that DeMar DeRozan just doesn't.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. But yeah, just based off him just not being looked at as that caliber of player.
yeah,
I mean, he's not going to win the award, like I said, unless Katie, Steph, and Jokic go down with injury, and he's really like it. Like the MVP race is him versus like shit. I don't even know. I don't even know who. Maybe like Giannis or something.
yeah.
Like
Spencer
that's
Dinwiddie.
like yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie. Yeah, maybe that would be like his only shot, but
Yeah,
he's not going to win it. But it's pretty cool that a guy that was looked at as one of the worst additions. Though they were talking about how it's an overpay, it's looking like an underpay now.
yeah,
Like
okay, yeah, I could buy that.
for this season, I'm not
Yeah,
thinking. However, what is the contract? Like 3 years or
3
something?
years.
I don't
Yeah,
remember. But not looking at it in that aspect. But I mean, it's looking like an
right,
underpay for his performance this season.
right. Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm a fan.
But yeah, pretty cool to see him being considered for the MVP. I mean, he's not going to win it, but you still like to see it.
All right, man, we get it.
Yeah,
Just don't hate on him. Let the DeMar DeRozan fans dream a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. What do you
And
got?
moving on to my second topic, Kristaps Porzingis has been pretty good over the last like 5 games.
And the Mavericks have been pretty good over the past season of
Yeah,
games. They're third in the West.
they've won 4 of last 5, and KP just happened to play well in all 4 of those. And I think they're playing right now. Watch now that I say this, he's probably going to be playing like shit.
Shit the bed, yeah.
But I think the main reason for this is because I think there's two things.
Jason Kidd, dark horse candidate, coach of the year.
Get the hell out of here. There's 2 main reasons that I think this is happening. One is because he's been getting a lot of minutes at the center position, and him playing center just opens up the floor for kind of everybody. Honestly, it opens up the floor way more. He's been having some pretty sweet little dribble handoffs with Frank Ntilikina too, and like I don't know. I mean, he's just getting.
Yeah, Frank's been getting minutes with the Mavericks.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching the other night, and yeah, I mean, he's opened up the floor for everybody. And another thing too, the other reason that I think he is actually showing. I mean, he's been playing well, especially over the last 5 games, but he hasn't been completely awful this season. I saw this on Twitter. So this is the first summer that KP actually had to work on his game. Every other season he's been in the NBA during the offseason, he's been nursing an injury.
Or he's been with the Knicks.
So between, for like his ACLs and every other injury that he's had. I think he might have had him. I don't know if he had a meniscus or something in there too. Probably. I mean, he's always hurt. But yeah, this was the first summer that he was really able to work on his game over the summer, and it's kind of showing. I mean, he's looking a little more polished out there. He's got a few more post moves. That I was noticing
say, the most
too.
frustrating thing about him is that he's 7'3" and can't rebound or box out or post players up that are like 6'5".
No, I mean he's been acknowledging those, and it's better. Like I said, it just goes down to also him not having a center there to clog the paint.
Right.
So with him playing the 5 position, I mean he's been able to show his new bag of post moves that he has. But Porzingis has been solid, and this was one of the things that the Mavericks desperately needed in order to be a good team. And I know I called them frauds a few episodes ago, but I might be wrong. And maybe Jason Kidd does win Coach of the Year, like you said.
I mean, come on. He's the darkest horse of all time. He's up there. I'd say, looking at it, Steve Kerr and Monty Williams are probably ahead of him.
Let's save this.
Okay.
Let's save this.
So he's up there. He's top 5. He's 5 right now.
Probably, but no, I do want to have that discussion of who the Coach of the Year is, because I actually think it's kind of interesting this season.
Maybe. We'll see what happens. But no denying he's a dark horse right now.
For sure. But moving on, what is your third topic for me, sir?
Yeah, just when you listened to the Kyrie news this season, you've listened to Ben Simmons news, and somehow the dumbest news in the NBA season has come out today when the I guess city of Los Angeles, someone announced that Staples Center will be renamed to Crypto.com Arena. And the Clippers cannot leave fast enough.
So my first initial thoughts. So regardless of, whatever you think about crypto or anything like that, it's just a bad name. Like having .com in the name. Like, is anyone going to call it the Crypto.com Arena?
It's like one of the shitty bowl games in college football where it's like the GoDaddy.com bowl or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It just reeks of just like not even corporate sponsorship, but like just unprofessional. Like there's no like, first of all, no one's going to call it that. It's going to be Staples Center
it's or Staples Center until there's a whole generation.
Right. Okay. They call it the Crip or something. What are Bloods in Los Angeles going to call the Crypto.com Arena? They're going to have a real big problem with that.
Yeah, true. Maybe Russell Westbrook starts playing well then. Now that he's there. But I mean, for a very long time, nobody's going to call it that. I'm very curious to see what the fucking sign is even gonna look like. Like, well, what is the? Because I mean, like with Staples, we know what the.
You got the red.
You have the red.
You got the red font. What
the logo looks like.
Good.
But I don't know what I've never been to Crypto.com.
Yeah, and it's not like they move stadiums where it was the Great Western Forum when Matt and Showtime played there, and that was an iconic arena.
Yeah,
but it's not like they renamed that and put up a new fucking corporate sign called the Staples Center. They got a new stadium, so it's stuck. And then they won a bunch of championships there, and it stuck even more. But you can't just like erase Staples Center from the LA conscious. Like, it's just not going to happen. It's like it's like the Sears Tower with Chicago. You're not gonna,
right.
No one fucking calls it that new name. That new is like 15 years ago at this point, but still no one calls it that. Willis Tower.
The Willis Tower, yeah.
No one calls it that. No one.
And same thing too is like other like stadiums. I mean, none as iconic as a Staples Center, but like
Portland, the Rose Garden is now the Moda Center, which no one fucking calls it that.
And even in Chicago, the Allstate Arena was what was it before?
Fuck if I know.
Yeah, and then in Milwaukee, the Brewers Stadium,
Miller Park
like
and now
family insurance something. Yeah.
Like guaranteed family insurance.
Something bad, but nobody calls it that.
Field. Yeah.
Right, but like you say, it's just gonna take a whole generation that didn't watch Kobe and didn't, grow up on the Lakers teams that we grew up watching.
It's top 3 iconic stadium in the NBA behind Madison Square Garden and maybe it's probably number 2. It's not on MSG's level, but imagine if they renamed Madison Square Garden Crypto.com Arena. It's up there.
They better never touch that one, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, but
one thing Shane Dolan has done right.
That's probably going to be the worst name of an NBA arena.
Let's break down some of the worst ones. Is Smoothie King Arena is bad. The Suns just rebranded, I think, 2 seasons ago, but Talking Stick Resort Arena was horrible.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Some of them work just because they don't sound like anything. Like Fiserv, no one knows what that is, so it's
it's
whatever.
It's a bank, I think.
Something I don't know.
It's a bank.
Yeah. The Oracle. You could reshop it in Roracle or something like that. How the fuck are you gonna go to going to the .com, man? What are people in LA gonna say to abbreviate that? You go to the crypt, bro. That.
Yeah, that's what. But I feel like that's going to what rich kids from the LA suburbs are gonna be we're going to the crypt tonight to watch the Lakers or something. So I think that'll get corny really fast.
Yeah, Thunder have Chesapeake Bay Arena, which as a kid I thought was they were in a place called Chesapeake Bay, but it was another bank or insurance company or something.
It's actually one of the best home court advantages in the league.
Thunder?
Yes. No, that take it from someone who was a huge Thunder guy for that. The entire time that Katie and Westbrook were there, that place was always insane. They people have gone to say, the nickname for it is Loud City, to where that place is just roaring.
Right. Some Roracle historically was super loud. People have called Old Chicago Stadium one of the loudest stadiums. Madison Square Garden, I think when the Knicks are good, Madison Square Garden is probably the biggest home court in the NBA, but it's not really a thing like it is in college.
No.
Yeah. And then I was going to say another bad one. Shit, I forgot. The King Golden One Center. The Kings.
I was just about to say I could not tell you what the Kings. They just got a new one. I think a few years ago.
It's a cool stadium, but
sure
Golden One Center just sounds kind of dumb. Not nearly as dumb as Crypto.com Arena.
No, that's the worst. Worst in the league.
In Cleveland, it's no longer the Q. I'm told it's now.
Yeah, it's
some bullshit. Let me look.
I don't remember. Yeah, because that happened recently too.
Yeah, and it was okay. It's Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
And I don't think anybody calls it that.
Well, not when you could call it the Q. That's one letter. Chicago, they have the UC. New York, they have MSG. I don't know if anyone called it SC in Los Angeles. Probably not, but Staples Center sound a lot cooler than fucking Crypto.com Arena. Okay.
Yeah, that's terrible. One of the worst.
Really bad.
For sure.
Yeah.
So my last topic, I got to talk about it. Cade Cunningham had a good game the other day.
Yeah, that's a couple of them now, yeah.
Yeah, so Cade Cunningham the other night against the Kings had 25, 8, and 8 on 50% shooting from the field. I think it might be starting to come together. And even tonight against the Pacers, he had 16, 8, and 6. So
yeah, and people were expecting this. He was hurt and missed a lot of preseason and even the regular season. So he was going to have a couple off games. I don't think anyone saw the game that he went 1 for 8 from 3 from and was
no,
he's a bust.
This guy sucks. Yeah, exactly.
But
this makes me think: is it too late for him to slide into the Rookie of the Year race?
No, I think Anthony Edwards. If you think about Anthony Edwards, he was kind of late to the party last year as well.
Very late to the party. It wasn't until after the All-Star break that he got into that conversation.
In February and March, he lit up the league and got runner-up, I think.
He got runner-up because Halliburton was the runner-up for basically the entire season until Edwards kind of just crept in there. But I think
so definitely not too late. No.
Yeah, I don't think it's too late at all.
Especially with Mobley's injury, that opens the door a lot more.
Exactly.
Scotty Barnes has still been pretty good. Just trying to think. Suggs isn't
Chris
really
Duarte. Suggs has not been good.
Chris Duarte's the Pacer wings are going to come back and healthy, and
Jalen Green's not getting a lot of touches in Houston.
Yeah, which is surprising.
He hasn't been great, honestly. But I think that Cade, if he keeps this up, and I mean, unfortunately with Evan Mobley being out, I think he can slide very much into that Rookie of the Year conversation and end up exactly where I thought he was going to be, which was taking that award home.
Yeah, I still like Mobley's odds just because defensively he's a monster and Cade is not.
Yeah.
And Mobley is pretty good offensively, super polished for a rookie. I still can't believe how good he is.
And I think that leads us pretty well into the part of the show where we talk about our miscellaneous topics, because I remember looking at your notes and I know what you want to say now, because that was one of yours.
Good thing you said that, because I was going to end our topic and then go right into the other thing. Evan Mobley's hurt.
Yeah, and that is, I mean, for anybody who's a Cleveland fan, that is not what you want to see, especially with Colin Sexton going down.
But it is what they're used to. So there's that.
Yeah,
they're used to pain and turmoil without LeBron, with Sexton and Mobley's injuries.
And I hope that they can keep it together while he's gone, just because, I mean, I'm rooting for them. I mean, this is a team that has been really fun to watch, and I hope that their season doesn't start to go to shit now, just because Mobley's out for, I believe, 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, 2 to 4 weeks was the diagnosis. Rooting for them, I don't know about that. But for me, at least, I don't really care if they do.
I don't know, man. I love Evan Mobley. He's become one of my favorite rookies. I've been hearing Kevin Garnett comparisons. Just how good he is. I've heard Kevin Garnett comparisons. I heard a Tim Duncan comparison this morning.
Yeah, I'm now comparing him to Jordan, and you've now heard a Jordan comparison. So,
all right.
No, I don't think he's there yet. But
no, definitely not there yet.
He kind of plays like KG, just not as good as him. Because KG as a rookie was not only a power forward animal, but he was bringing the ball up the court, and he was crossing people over, and he was doing crazy shit. But
fun fact: one of my college professors got dunked on by Kevin Garnett in high school.
How young was he?
He was in high school. He said,
"No, how young was the professor?" Because KG's only he's probably just turned 40 this year or something. He's probably 40, 41. Yeah. Pretty young. Okay. Yeah, I guess
because he said he was
in DC or in Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah, okay. He said he had to guard him in a game, and he dunked on him and showed my height. No, he was just probably a regular high school power forward, and he got stuck on KG, and he said he shattered the backboard on him.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, I mean, you just have to foul him, right? You can't even if your coach tells you to guard Kevin Garnett, who had garnered national attention at that point, you just foul the fuck out of him, and then 100%. Foul out.
Every time he touches the ball, I'm fouling him. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But a little fun fact. He was one game in high school. He's I got dunked on. He said his KG's legs were on his shoulders, sat on him, basically. And he was he was
Parks and Rec, Chris Bosh.
Yeah. And he was he was the backboard got shattered. He was that guy later turned out to be Kevin Garnett. I was oh shoot.
That's funny.
But moving on to my miscellaneous topics right here. So this morning, watching Stephen A. Smith and listening to what he had to say about the NBA games from last night, he said that KD has no help on the Warriors. John, would you bring out the world's smallest violin so we can hear a sad song on it?
Wait, did he say no help on the Warriors or no help on the Nets?
Tweak, no help on the Nets.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I meant.
Okay. But
yeah, exactly. Bring out the world's smallest violin, because KD has No help
the hardest road
on right. No help on the Nets currently, according to Stephen A. Smith, which is absolutely ridiculous. He has
I didn't
fucking
cheat
James
that.
Harden.
I think, yeah, he has James Harden and LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin and Patty Mills and Joe Harris, but among others that are serviceable NBA players. But I also heard Stephen A. say that, go as far as to say that Kevin Durant had fell into the trap that Kyrie laid, and that Kyrie betrayed him, like lured him to the Nets to not play, which was like really funny. Stephen A. has been just a hot take machine this year, more so than
Yeah,
usual.
more. Yeah, no,
Usually
I
he's
was
like,
gonna say.
he has some bad takes, but he's like entertaining about it. But now that Kellerman left ESPN, he's just been like a machine.
Yeah,
He's just been
yeah.
printing them out.
But yeah, that was a hot take I definitely had to just kind of laugh at, and
Yeah,
just anybody saying that KD doesn't have help on the Nets is just absolutely ridiculous. You know, like I mean, like Bruce Brown's been playing pretty well.
yeah.
Like
I
his
didn't even
last few
mention Bruce
games
Brown,
too. So I mean,
Claxton.
exactly these are all serviceable NBA guys and a top 10 guy in James Harden. So to say he has no help is pretty funny.
Yeah, and even if he did, like, figure it out, buddy. Like,
Right.
and
Like,
it's not like you saying he has no help. Like, it's like they're floundering in the conference. They're third in the conference,
yeah,
so it's not
right.
like they're fucking like 5-10. They're 10-5. Like, they're
Exactly. And I
pretty
mean, they
damn good
lost the.
team. And if Kyrie comes back, they'll be the best team in the league. So like,
And this was the reaction of them losing to a Warriors team who was like
the
12
best
and
team in
2.
the league right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Pretty
moving
dumb.
on to the last miscellaneous topic I had is
Yeah, I have
DeJounte
one more
Murray.
after this as well.
DeJounte Murray is quietly having a good season. He's
I've always
averaging.
been a Dejounte Murray fan.
I was gonna say I remember that from
Yeah,
probably like 2 years ago when we talked about it, but
I've
he's
always been a
averaging
big fan of his.
17 points per game, and he is improving as a shooter, which was kind of one of his the main flaws in his game. I mean,
Yeah.
he's always been fine at getting to the basket, but his shooting has always been the problem. He is a great defender,
Yeah,
one of the
that's his
best.
best calling card is that
Yeah,
he's such an
exactly.
athletic defender. He's got good size for basically a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a Washington prospect that ended up panning out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, I like DeJounte Murray, and I mean the reason that nobody's really talking about it is because
he plays on
I
the
mean,
boringest team in the NBA.
exactly.
Like they're not even that they're like bad, but they are bad. But like they're not even like laughably bad. Like the Rockets and the Pistons and the Magic and the Thunder get media attention because they're like horrible. The Spurs are just like,
yeah,
I
no,
don't even know. They're just shit. No one want. I don't want to watch Spurs games ever.
No, and I have to if I want to watch an NBA game live. But
yeah.
But I mean, no, he's improving
fun.
as a shooter. I think he might get some votes for the All Defensive Team as well too.
For sure.
And no, he's quietly having a very good season. What's the last topic that you have?
Yeah, so there's two prominent streaks in the NBA that I want to point out. The Suns are on a 9-game win streak. I know we talked about that a couple days, but that is by far the best in the NBA. Started out 1-3, so with all the Ayton stuff going on and the Sarver stuff going on.
Yeah. And Cam Johnson has been in a little bit of a slump too.
They've been pretty damn good for their past 9 games. The other streak is a team that is on a historically bad run right now. The Houston Rockets are on a 12-game losing streak.
They're 1-13.
Yeah, and they are on pace to be the worst team of all time, worse than the Bobcats team in the lockout season that once went like 7-60 something.
I have so many memories of that team. So one of my fondest memories is they were playing, I think, the Grizzlies. And I forgot what player on the Bobcats said something to Rudy Gay. And he was like, oh, something. He was like, this is my house. And Rudy Gay was like, yeah, Bismack Biyombo, yeah. And Rudy Gay was like, you've won 6 games. He's like, this is everybody's house. Yeah. That team.
That team actually had some guys, not good players. I won't go that far, but they had some guys. They had, I think, a rookie, Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker.
They had Bismack Biyombo, Corey Maggette, who was washed up as fuck. Gerald Henderson was
Gerald
probably the best player.
Gerald Henderson was on that team.
Probably the best player on the team.
I think there was there was some people
those are the ones that I know. Gerald Henderson was the best player on that team, which was fucking sad, like really sad. But
yeah, for sure. Who I think he might have been like a sneaky all-star right around that time.
He might. I think you're right. He had one of those years where he just spiked because he was the number one option on a dog shit team.
Okay, so get this. Get this of who was on that team. Yeah. DJ Augustine.
He was on the team that went 6 and whatever.
Yeah. Matt Carroll, if you remember him.
Matt Carroll.
Boris Diaw.
What?
Gerald Henderson, Corey Higgins, Corey Maggette.
Yeah.
Jamario Moon.
Moon, yeah.
Byron Mullins, if you remember him too.
I don't.
Tyrus Thomas. When's the last time you heard that name?
It's been too long.
And Kemba. And a couple other guys that I have quite literally never heard of.
Who the fuck is Matt Carroll? Why does that name sound familiar? Where did you go to college?
I don't remember. I just remember.
How do you spell Carroll?
Carroll.
Okay, because I just Googled that exact name and nothing came up. The Ole Miss quarterback came up.
He played 12 seasons in the NBA.
Matt Carroll. Why does that name sound so familiar?
Yeah, legit. He played 459 games in the NBA.
I just looked him up. I have no idea who this is.
You don't? Oh, okay. I like very vaguely remember him. I mean, clearly he wasn't anything special.
He went to Notre Dame to play basketball. So
yeah,
no,
that should tell you. That should tell you everything. But yeah, no, that would actually probably be kind of fun to see another team historically terrible. You know, I want to go catch a Rockets game for sure.
You could get it for like $2 or something.
Yeah, if they're that bad. I might go check that out.
Maybe Jalen Green knew Kemba Walker. He's starts on a historically shit team and turns out to be pretty good.
Yeah,
I can see it.
No, probably.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it'd be fun to watch that. But moving on to our main topic. Speaking of teams that are not good right now, the Lakers suck.
They suck.
So there has been so much going on this season with the Lakers between Russ not being good, LeBron sitting out for not sitting out. I mean, he's been hurt for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
A lot of the role players. I mean, Malik Monk has been okay. Talon Horton-Tucker has been okay. Dwight Howard's been okay. The only role guy that's really been a true positive has been Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
And the main thing, not necessarily the main thing being why this team isn't good, but Anthony Davis does not look like himself.
No, he was ass.
Yeah, exactly. And AD said it himself. He said that the Lakers suck and do not look like a championship team, and I think we have to agree with him.
Well, this is kind of – I mean, first of all, they don't have LeBron, and they haven't for a while.
Yeah.
When LeBron – not only is obviously he's LeBron, he's going to help them immensely when he comes back, but when teams – historically, when teams go, all in on LeBron, they get LeBron, and LeBron skips a couple games, they don't play well because their system is LeBron. He takes the ball up. He scores when they need him to. He gets defensive stops when they need him to.
But they traded for Russell Westbrook. And
right, okay. Good
that
point.
wasn't that the point of the trade? Where like they knew
to take pressure off of LeBron. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of like the point of the trade, to where they did that so to take pressure off LeBron, and when LeBron didn't play, that they would still be able to win games. Well, that's not really happening. And even when LeBron does come back and they play together, it hasn't looked very smooth or too good yet. So what was the point of the trade then?
Just drip. They get
maybe.
Russell sell some jerseys.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, and this is coming from, Russell Westbrook's my favorite NBA player of all time.
Yeah, you know how I feel about Russ.
Exactly, and I know how a lot of people feel about Russ, but I just think that, like with LeBron being out, like that was the reason you traded the majority of your depth, was to have a guy that could still win those games for you when LeBron sits out or when Anthony Davis sits out, and it's just not looking like that's going to happen.
Yeah, now LeBron's going to have to go into zero dark 30 mode early, and that's going to hurt him because come by the playoffs, he's not going to have any zero dark 30 gasoline left, and he's going to be
right.
he's
Because
going
I
to be
mean,
out
like
again. So.
at this point of LeBron's career, it's pretty much like accepted that he's gonna coast through the regular season.
Yeah,
I mean, and not
the
try
Lakers will
completely.
coast through the regular season. Sort of cost
And
them last year, but
exactly, and LeBron not trying can still be probably like 25 points a game, something
yeah,
like that.
oh
But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he's
Not
going
worried about
to
LeBron. I'm worried about the Lakers right now. I think.
exactly to where I
Yeah.
don't think he's gonna be able to just kind of coast through the rest of the season. And I mean, what does that do to them then when the playoffs do come around? Like, are him and Anthony Davis gonna have anything left? Just trying to scrape into being like a top 3, top 4 seed, because it did fuck them over terribly last season.
Well, as fans, it sucks for us because we have to see them on primetime every other fucking night.
True.
They come out there with a shit team, and if they have LeBron, it's like, well, here's Anthony Davis and a bunch of bums. It's like I'm watching the Pelicans again,
Right.
except we replace Drew Holiday with Russell Westbrook.
And speaking of primetime, I was just watching the Lakers and the Bucks right now.
They lost.
And yeah, they did. And so the what I really want to focus on, going back to Anthony Davis, it has been, I'd say, over the last 5 or so years, it's been widely agreed that Anthony Davis and Giannis are the 2 best power forwards in the league. And there are some years that you would say AD was better. There's some years that you would say Giannis is better. I mean, coming off of the Lakers championship, everybody kind of said, okay, the discussion's over. Anthony Davis is better than Giannis. And then last year, I mean,
the championship, of course, buys you a lot of goodwill, especially when Giannis was. I think that the year the Lakers won was the bubble, and the year before that, Giannis lost to the Raptors.
Yeah,
choking a 2-0 lead, I think, and then in the bubble they got beat down by the Heat in the second round. So a lot of people were low on Giannis, but then like this year again, 50 points in the finals and finals victory. People are back on Giannis.
So
and Giannis is also improving more and more each year. I don't in the way that I don't think Davis is. So
right, because that's what I was gonna say. Is I mean they've very much been kind of flip flopping that 1 and 2 position over the last few years, but it was almost embarrassing how badly Giannis outplayed Anthony Davis out there. Completely outplayed him.
You think LeBron would rather have Giannis than AD? Imagine that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Give him the choice, and Anthony Davis is fucking gone.
See, I don't know about though for like shooting purposes, because AD is a better shooter than Giannis.
Yeah, well, a little bit. Like it's not like they're either one is really reliable. Davis can hit some threes, but Giannis on a really good night, Giannis can. I guess he's not reliable, but
true. But Giannis is still Giannis and is shooting like 27% from 3 this season.
Right. Yeah. And
yeah. I mean, Giannis just showed that the gap is a lot further than we probably realized up until this point.
It's only going to get worse, you'd think.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of starting to look like maybe Anthony Davis doesn't care. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the guy, but I remember a time when Anthony Davis was a true dominant, scary force out there.
Remember that game he had like 59 and 20 against for the Pelicans against like the Pistons or something? Yeah. That was fun.
And then even like just thinking about, because I was watching the game against the Bulls a few nights ago, so his numbers looked fine, before, because this is the game that he got ejected for not having a shoe on and talking to the ref and whatever.
Which was a stupid ass ejection, but
yeah, it really was, but that's neither here nor there. But he didn't really look all that dominant out there, and he was getting guarded by. Oh, good.
Yeah, another thing is like he didn't look great, and he didn't look like the best player on the team because the Lakers go on stretches, and I saw this against the Spurs. The Spurs played on either Sunday or Monday a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might have even went to OT or got close to it, but they go on stretches where they don't give AD the ball. They have to give him the ball like every other possession at minimum. Like he's a dominant scorer inside, and he can even shoot a little bit. And when he gets going, I'm sure he's going to draw the defense and get everyone else going. But they defer to like the wings who are they just hack up threes and they don't give a shit.
Exactly.
It's frustrating. If I was a Lakers fan, I'd be like, what the fuck? It's
no, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if he's not going out and putting dominant performances against Tony Bradley, I don't know.
Kind of embarrassing.
It's kind of embarrassing, and like I said, I don't know if it's just he doesn't care, with LeBron being out and all of that. Maybe there's injuries nagging. And Anthony Davis is a guy that isn't known to really take care of his body. He could still be playing himself into shape the way that he usually does.
Yeah.
But he is not the dominant force that he used to be. And I don't know if this is the beginning of the real decline for Anthony Davis.
I wouldn't go that far. I think when LeBron comes back, they'll go on a run and gain some momentum. They have some easy games coming up, a stretch of easy games. They have the Celtics, the Pistons twice, the Pacers, the Knicks, the Kings. And then they get into some tougher games as well. On Christmas, they play the Nets. That should be fun if LeBron is back, which he should be. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with LeBron. I don't think he can set up Christmas. I think the NBA would kill him.
Right, but I thought he was actually supposed to come back pretty soon.
I did as well.
Yeah, because I think because there was talks about him playing tonight. I think that might have circulated a little bit ago. I don't know how accurate that was, but I think he actually is supposed to come back soon.
Yeah, but they have an easier schedule, so I could actually see the Lakers rattling off like 5 or 6 wins in a row if LeBron comes back, and that we'll have an episode titled "The Lakers Are Back."
Yeah,
but right now they stink. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, stink, terrible.
Yeah,
terrible. But I mean, there's clearly a lot of time left to turn it around, and it's really just going to come down to them doing well enough in the regular season to not have a low seed like they did. I mean, that was a nightmare scenario playing the Suns in the first round.
Yeah,
exactly. Who were such a good team, and I mean, they were doomed.
Great matchup.
Yeah, great matchup. I would have loved to see
Ayton and Bridges could guard LeBron and AD pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They did fine. And then, I mean, they were throwing Jay Crowder on LeBron as well, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as of right now, the Lakers suck. Anthony Davis said it himself. Do I think they will figure things out? Yeah, probably. But
they'll get LeBron back. And they'll figure it out. Yeah.
Exactly. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how the rest of the season goes. But if you guys enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to hit that thumbs up. It goes way further than you think. Also, make sure, way further. Comment down below. Let us know what you think, about any of the topics that we have there. Let us know if you think DeMar DeRozan. Recommend some topics too, please, because we will be glad to talk about it. Let us know if you guys think.
Yeah, we want fan mail.
Right. Let us know if you think DeMar DeRozan is the MVP. Let us know if you think the Wizards are legit. Let us know what you think about the Lakers.
Comment if you think Josh Giddey is going to be the MVP.
Probably not, but but why not? Yeah, drop it in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe as well too, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any episodes coming up. Because we will be back on Sunday. Because we have a ton going on in the NBA and college basketball. We will be talking about the conclusion of the Gavitt games, which is tomorrow. John will be going to DePaul versus Rutgers.
$2 beer night.
Nice. Those are the best.
Yeah.
Those they definitely knew how to get students to come at
they don't,
school.
But it
depends on the game. I mean, there were a few games that you and I went to that were pretty packed.
Yeah, I guess you are right. We went to Texas Tech.
That Texas Tech game was
insane.
Pretty good. Yeah, that one was insane. And I believe, did you come to
Nova or something?
I went Marquette, maybe? I went to Marquette with. I don't remember if it was you and JP.
I think. I don't remember what game that was. I think we went to a Marquette game.
I think so, but as I was saying, there is a ton going on. The rest of this week, and we will be back on Sunday to talk about it. So like I said, if you enjoyed this episode, do all of those YouTube things, and we will be back again soon with another episode. Alex, signing out.
Hold on. Let's get this shit. Let's